Okay, guys, so I'm going to play a clip in just a moment where a woman is playing two parts, a man and a woman, and she's basically highlighting a real issue that women have with men. And it comes out of a really bad misunderstanding of what men want and how men think. So I'm going to explain what she's not understanding about men. Now, just before I start that, I'm just going to say I'm a Christian man. And so my views are different to most men. So I'm going to be explaining how most men behave and think, not me personally. Okay, I very well understand it as a man, though. So let's have a start and see what she has to say.
Hey, I like you. Oh, hello, I like you too. We should hang out. I would like that very much. Let's hang out. You're so great. You are also so great. We should make this a thing. What? A thing, like I would be with you and you would be with me and we would just see each other, because we like each other and we think each other are great. I hear what you're saying, and no. Oh, you don't like me anymore? No, I do a lot, and I depend on you a lot, and you're a great person, and I really like hanging out with you. Okay, but you don't want to be with me? No, but I want to hang out still, So you want to be with me, but you don't want to be with me? Yeah, like we're not exclusive, but No.
Okay, so here we see the dilemma that many women have, and they don't understand why men won't commit to them for marriage ultimately, which is clearly what her goal is. They won't commit to them for marriage, and they don't understand why when the guy likes them and they get on great and all of these things. So we need to understand that what men and women want are two different things. And one of the problems is that a lot of women, for whatever reason that blows my mind, they can only see men through their own particular filter. They think that we're the same, even though they will tell you we're not. They still do. They think that we're the same. We have the same goals and motives. So why would a man want to marry a woman who is giving them everything they want, more than they want, or rather more than they would get in a marriage? So in this scenario, the guy has his girlfriend, right, and he's sleeping with his girlfriend while being free to sleep with whoever else he wants. He's getting everything he wants, but she's not getting what she wants because she obviously wants commitment and marriage. So for women, the solution is very easy, but they don't want the solution. The solution is do not sleep around. Save yourself for marriage. That used to be understood. It used to be understood that a woman's great value was her body, and she would save that. And people used to be primarily virgins when they got married, the women especially. Now, there is a bit of a double standard that goes on, and I'm not going to get into that on this video, but there is a bit of a double understanding, a double standard, because it's more damaging for a woman to be sleeping around than for a man. And that's just because of the way that men and women are. That's just a fact. So what part of the reason for that is it's very easy for a woman to sleep with a lot of partners and very difficult for a man to do that. So when a man is able to do that, it tells us something about him being very attractive to women, which puts him usually being successful financially, in a very strong place, good looking, and so on. So for a man to do that, kind of it kind of is a strength. I'm not saying it's good morally, but it's looked at by women. So that's why women chase after these men celebrities who have sleeping with masses and masses of girls. Those men are seen as attractive, but it's never been an attractive thing for a woman to be promiscuous. Again, I don't want to get into that deeply. But as a consequence, what men want from women and women want from men are different things. So women, for example, what they want is to be provided for. That's seen in the fact that still women, even the feminist women, typically when they go on a first date, they want the man to pay. That's still coming out of that drive that the man is the provider and the protector. So women want men that are the provider and protector. So protecting part comes out of most women will want a tall man, certainly taller than them, and that's to do with the protection that's perceived from a larger man. So a man is not interested in a woman being a provider and protector, which is why a man is not interested in successful women financially. They're earning mostly that's a low of low importance for a man. But if a man is looking for marriage, and that's another thing we need to take into account, there is a difference between a man looking for sex, okay, and a man looking for marriage. So if he's looking just for flings, a lot of the qualities go out of the window. In fact, a woman that's very promiscuous is attractive then because it's easier to get what they want. So, but when it comes to marriage, they don't want a promiscuous woman. In fact, and this is something women hate, right? But men want to marry someone as pure as possible. So ideally, although this is getting harder for men nowadays, but ideally they want to marry a virgin. This is why in certain religions, the men get to heaven and they've got masses of virgins. It's the big reward for a man. Okay, so men want virgins, and because mostly they can't get virgins in today's society, they want people with as low a body count as possible. Okay, so purity is really important to a man. It's not to a woman. In fact, women will chase, as I just mentioned, men that are sleeping with lots and lots of girls. They actually often are attracted to that because it means that they can get girls, and that's all part of the attraction. So there is a disparity there, and yes, it's not a level playing field. It's different for some of the reasons I mentioned and more. So for a woman, if she wants to be married, if she wants a long-term committed relationship, the last thing she should be doing is sleeping around. And she definitely shouldn't be sleeping with the man that she wants to have a long-term relationship with, because what is the motive for that man to get married, especially when men, by and large, do really badly in divorces, and 80%, 90% of divorces from educated women, when one of the partners is an educated woman, 90% of divorces are caused by women. The women are the ones that are leaving. And when they leave, the law, the legal system in most countries is going to result in them taking a massive, often disproportionate amount of the man's wealth and children if they're children. So men know this. Men know that their wealth is at risk if they're married, and not if they're in this kind of relationship described here. So for a man to get married, he wants typically a more traditional woman, a woman who's not slept around, a woman who is agreeable in a marriage, who's going to submit to the husband. These kind of things that women hate are what they want. And women mostly, of course, there are some that do that, and these women are greatly sought after, but most women have been very affected by our culture, our society, which is in turn being affected by feminism, which was bought and paid for ultimately by men. And the consequences of that are what we see today, where we've got all these situationships and relationships that are basically, from a man's point of view, giving them everything that they want without the responsibility. And the women need to learn this, and they need to change, because only when the women say no will anything change, because sex is a choice of women. They're the guardians, they're the gatekeepers of that. They're the ones that say yes or no. And when it comes to marriage, it's the men. The men are the ones that say yes or no. So it's switch of roles. But sex is a woman's choice. Stop giving it to men that you're not married to. If you do that, overnight, everything will change. When you're not giving what the men want out of marriage, guess what? They're going to start marrying. And men, when they marry, usually don't leave that marriage. It's mainly women that do that. So there you go. That's my thoughts. What do you think?